Maybe I should take that niche on. I'm an old man. I just hate Packgod. He's always pissing me off with all his dumb lyrics.
My name Flaze.
Is this the canon event?
This is the canon event.
All right, guys. For those saying this in chat, I'm not going to pack FlazeFire.
There goes the clip.
Yeah, I'm not giving Steak that clip. He's got to pay me for that.
Packgod, how did that video make you feel?
That video, very good, very funny. For those who don't fully understand, packing is not supposed to be like the pinnacle of a roast. Like the central concept of packing is not supposed to be something that's reaching like the greatest roast you could possibly do, or even necessarily a good roast. It's about just random kind of like garbage.
The main thing is, like, I have absolutely no issues with you, like, as a person, but the character of Packgod, like I said, when I was talking to you, just fills me with a soylent rage, just an absolute soy boy rage.
Okay, may I ask?
Well, at least he's self-aware enough to know that he's a soy boy. I'll just try to sum it up. Super sort of woke. It's just someone that takes their orders from mainstream media and then goes out in the world and acts like they're on a soapbox telling everybody else to do the same thing. And if they don't, that they're a horrible person.
Ask how old you are, Flaze.
Yes, I am 24.
And 24 is probably the perfect age to be a soy boy. He's sort of coming to the end of his frontal cortex really being laid into position. And unfortunately for Flaze, he's probably going to think the way he thinks now for at least another 10 years until life kicks him in the ass enough.
I think I'm starting to see the issue here on why you're not a fan of these
Wait,
kind
but
of
Packgod,
videos.
It's definitely
I'm
not
23.
the content for me. It's not
Yeah,
designed for me.
This is definitely not stuff engineered for 24-year-olds.
And it's definitely not. It's the main.
It's definitely not engineered for 24-year-olds. Well, I don't know. I mean, it all depends on, how seriously you take yourself. I'm over 50 years old, and I can sit there and enjoy a Packgod video and get a couple good laughs out of it and have a good time. But Flaze Kid, takes himself very seriously. Like he said, he's a soy boy. The world's very serious, and he probably goes and protests at every protest he can find that he can go to. I think at some point he's going to take himself a little less seriously. But there's also something else going on with Flaze Kid here, which is I've seen a lot of videos at this point where people just take Packgod content and mash it together in some way because they know people like looking at it. And to me, Flaze Kid has done something similar. He's put a lot of Packgod content together in a video, which is a pretty well-tested, good solution, good opportunity to get lots of views. And then at the same time, he's told a story about sort of how miserable and terrible all these videos are, but he's still showing like a large amount of content. Like a big chunk of his video is just Packgod content playing, which he knows hits and which he knows the audience will come to watch. So whether they're coming to watch the Packgod content or watching Flaze kind of roast Packgod while he's taking advantage of the fact that so many people like the content, we're not 100% sure, but I tend to think that Flaze is smart enough to know that if I play Packgod content, people will tune in and watch it, and I'll get views, and I'll get money, and I'll get clout. So
Main thing is, like, it's unfortunate that you got involved in the crosshairs. Like, you are the vehicle through which my soylent rage flows, but it's your fan base is the one I take the most issue with. Just the sheer amount of at Packgod humble him and like unironic,
I
like,
believe it or not,
furry hating.
yeah, he's got an extremely loyal fan base. And how he uses that power of his audience, it's not always for malintent. I think a lot of times he uses it to boost other people up. So, and you can't always blame people. Like it's you've heard if you watch video games, you're gonna do violent things. Well, maybe, but a lot of people play video games and they never do anything violent in the real world at all. So,
I
get that
equally
you're
don't
doing a
like
bit.
that. Yeah,
You're doing a
kind of
bit,
hate
and I
that.
100% respect it, especially the hustle, get that bag. However,
yeah, he respects the hustle, get that bag, because he understands that that's what he's doing as well here.
your fans, L Packgod fans.
Yeah, I mean, all these.
Yeah, he wants to L Packgod the fans. I'm going to say dub to all the Packgod fans if I know how to do that. Dub to all the Packgod fans, right? Whether you're 8 years old or you're 58 years old, all right? You cannot take yourself so seriously. You can enjoy some lighthearted laughter and roasting back and forth, combined with some great visuals. And there's nothing wrong with you if you enjoy that. Absolutely nothing. You know, Flaze Kid wants to put himself up on this pedestal like, I am above the lowly, dumb Packgod fans. Well, okay, Flaze Kid. Let's compare degrees and see, all right?
Obviously, not every person's a bad, like, not every person that watches me is, like, a degenerate.
Yeah, thank you. Not everybody that watches him is a degenerate. I take offense to that just everybody who's a fan making these sort of assumptions about people is not healthy. You know, you can't just say everybody that's a Packgod fan is a miserable, terrible person. That's not true. It's not true about everybody who does anything. You know, you just can't do it.
Degenerate.
Was during the research, I would go to your videos and sort by newest comments, and the amount of Packgod, can you please pack my bully, please? He's being quite rude. Can you pack my friend Tyler? In like it was quite funny to look at.
Yeah, I could see how that's funny, but at the same time, these are probably really kids who are in that age bracket of like middle school and who are getting bullied and are getting picked on. And they see somebody in Packgod that might be able to offer them some solutions. Like maybe next time I get bullied, if I say some of these roasts that Packgod has created that are super funny, it might disarm my bully. My bully might want to laugh instead of harass me. And I think that's what you're getting at here. Some of these kids that he's kind of making fun of here are real kids who are experiencing real problems out there in the world. And it's, you know, maybe FlazeFire was the coolest kid in his middle school and his high school, and he never had to deal with any of this stuff, so he can't relate. But for most of us, that wasn't our experience in middle school and high school.
But that was my main thing, was that a lot of these like younger people, kids, were see you as like a symbol of Sigma.
A symbol of Sigma.
Yeah, and what's so wrong with that? You know, who else are they looking at? A symbol of Sigma? Like, is it Kendrick Lamar? Is it, I don't know, Joe Biden? Is it Donald Trump? Like, is it Steak? Is it, you know, FlazeFire? Like, who should be an appropriate symbol of Sigma for kids? I think we could argue and debate that for hours and hours, but somebody who goes after bullies and puts them in their place might be a really good symbol of Sigma for young children.
And like,
You know, it's interesting you say that, because do you actually, like, I never even thought about it like that. Like, do you actually think like there's like a lot of people that see me as a symbol? Because I never like thought that like people actually saw me as like a symbol or for like anything like
Bro,
random.
you are massive.
Definitely.
I would, yeah, like, I would definitely agree with that. You are like the symbol of Sigma.
Because I'll say right now,
A popular, successful, but highly independent and self-reliant person, typically a male, one step above an alpha male. Unlike the simps of Twitch, David was a Sigma male.
I always thought packing was just like the dumbest thing ever, because it's like your mom looks like a refrigerated walrus. Like, that's not a roast that would actually hurt somebody's feelings, right? But also, it's not really intended to hurt someone's feelings. Like, it's supposed to kind of just be really fucking stupid. Like, in a sense, though, packing is sort of like, it never was meant to be some sort of serious art form. I'm just curious, too, about one thing. Like, how many videos of mine would you say you've watched, kind of?
So on the Packgod TV, I watched all of them once, and then the Packgod main channel, I watched all of them twice, some a couple more.
So you watched every one of my videos twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, Packgod probably appreciates that. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But you could say, at least according to him, he put his research in.
So, like, what was the point where, like, you, like, just despised me? Was that before doing that, or, like, after?
Very good question. Did you hate me before you watched all my videos, or did you hate me after you watched all my videos, or somewhere in between?
You subjected yourself to that? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Whenever I make videos, it basically is just I get mildly annoyed by things. So I remember coming across a clip from your Bell of the Wolf path on Twitter a couple months ago, and I kind of just like I'm like, wow, this is really, really annoying. And so then I kind of just put it on the back catalog. And then I saw the Jack Doherty one pop up in my recommended as well, and I watched it, and I'm like, okay. And I was reading through the comments and stuff, and I'm like, am I being annoyed because I'm an old man and I just don't get it, or is there something like here? And
Am I being annoyed because I'm an old man, or is there something here? Again, I think FlazeFire just takes himself way too seriously for a 24-year-old. I mean, come on down, Flaze. Get off the pedestal and stop thinking you're better than every single person that you encounter in the world. You're not that much of an intellectual. You're just another human being like the other 8-9 billion of us walking around on planet Earth. Like, you're not so special. You really aren't.
kind of just like delve deeper into that, like in the video. Like basically all of my stuff is like old man yells at cloud, and I explain why I feel that way, essentially.
I love how he calls himself an old man. Old man yells at cloud, and let me explain why. I think it's a good niche, but he's not really, maybe I should take that niche on. I'm an old man. I just hate Packgod. He's always pissing me off with all his dumb lyrics. The thing is, it's not true.
Perspective, like after watching every one of my videos twice, you don't find anything in yourself redeeming from the content. You kind of just, because a lot of the videos, like for example, like I'll just point one out here, like when I did the Packgod versus Goth Egro video, a lot of the videos, the format is like 85% to 90% is just like the interactions in the call, and then maybe 5% or like a minute or 2 minutes at the end is actually the packing part.
Yeah, I like how me and Steak are nodding in agreement here on this part. Yes, absolutely. I'd say we both agree. There's a lot of content there where he's telling the story, where he's setting it up. The ultimate litmus test for a Packgod video. You, the person watching it and enjoying the content, do you want to see the person get roasted? Did he do a good enough job at painting the protagonist as somebody that you want to see taken out? And I do believe that's one of Packgod's, talents, is that he can show you somebody that is a total complete stranger, and within 5 to 6 minutes of him spinning a tale, you can be like, oh, I want to see this person get roasted so bad. I want Packgod to take this person down so bad. And then once you feel like that, you actually get the delivery. You get to see it. You get to see the person's face as they're verbally assaulted, and it's just satisfying. And I think that's what keeps the fans coming back video after video.
So in terms of like the 90% of the video, like do you have the same sort of hatred towards that, or is it more solely focused towards like that little bit at the end where I'm like having a seizure?
Definitely just like a more so towards the packing. The initial part is just like regular old trolling, and so it's like it's not for me. It's kind of just whatever type of content, but it was the packing especially that I found to be extremely grating.
But I'd be interested to see what FlazeFire, what else is irritating or grating to him. I mean, probably just about anything. You put too much soy sauce on my soy sandwich. I don't know, but like, who cares? I mean, he made a good video, but the fact that you don't like Packgod packing is irrelevant to the majority of the universe. Like, nobody cares, because so many people do like it that you're a small fart in the wind, and you have been able to attract a lot of attention by calling him corny. But at the end of the day, I wonder if it's just more Packgod fans just with a new way to enjoy some Packgod content.
People that will probably, like, there's people that can look at any art form, any comedy, anything, and be like, that's fucking awful. And then people look at it and be like, that's fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, it really just is determined on like the person that looks at it. Like, for example, you may look at that and be like, oh my God, this is the most, as like a 24-year-old man, this is like the most cringe, awful thing I've ever heard. And then some kid may look at that and be like, that was like the funniest thing ever. Like, he said skibbity toilet or something. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
yeah, and certainly when you're 10 years old, your sense of humor is not going to be the same as when you're 24 or when you're 54 or 64 or whatever it is. So a person's humor indicator is going to definitely change over time. And maybe for FlazeFire, he's way too mature to enjoy any of the Packgod roastings. And You know, he has to be like that. He's set himself up as a self-proclaimed soy boy who's smarter than everybody. And therefore, you know, all this packing content is way beneath him. It's just for, you know, degenerate little idiot boys. But once you get to be like 30 years older than that, Flaze, you stop taking yourself so seriously and you're just like, yeah, it's just funny. I can laugh at it. Life's too short.
I mean, also too, like, I feel like there's a lot that just has to do with the perspective. But no, I mean, I generally don't think that it's like older people that watch the videos the same way that like you wouldn't expect like 25, 30-year-olds to be watching like, I don't know, Coco Melon or Creecraft.
Get you. And I will say, like, I really, really liked the initial before the packing bits of the Jack Doherty video. Like, I really, really appreciated that. Just because, like, it was nice to see that level of like grilling in a way that was like not completely nonsensical. Like, there was some genuine, like, seeing him squirm was kind of a treat.
Yeah, and honestly, dude, like these interactions, by the way.
Seeing him squirm was a kind of a treat, not gonna lie. I actually think this guy FlazeFire might be extremely easy to make fun of. I mean, myself.
Or the same thing happened when I did that thing with Speed McQueen. The same thing happened when I did the video. Yeah, Ooh Cute Single. I show Speed.
Yeah, I would think that there's enough examples out there now where it's done on a live stream and you can honestly say it's maybe he rehearsed it somewhere, but he's doing it live. He's throwing out those lines and he's not stuttering, and it's really difficult to do. It is. And if anyone's ever live streamed anything before, they know how difficult it is to constantly sound coherent and clear and speak meaningful language without lots of ums and does and that kind of stuff. It's tricky. And I think Packgod has proven that is a legitimate skill that he possesses, that he can actually go on a live stream and he can spit out bar after bar after bar, taking somebody down, and they can be funny and they can be creative, and he doesn't stutter with it, and it is a remarkable skill.
A lot of different videos that I made were all literally just live. Sneeko was all live.
Kind of, like, that's why I made the WWE comparison. Because like it's just the perception that I saw in a lot of your fans that, oh, you're just randomly interacting with these people and like putting them in their place, as they would say. Because I got a lot of comments saying that yeah, well, like the e-girls and the OnlyFans girls and like the TikTokers, they deserved it, like almost as if they see it as a form of justice, when I just wanted to paint the picture that, you know, they've.
Yeah, that's the beauty of what he's doing is each video he makes you follow along a story where at the end justice is served in the form of a pack.
Talked beforehand, he's not just randomly like stumbling across them and then
they're actually
putting them in their place.
There's actually a lot of almost.
He's not just randomly coming across them and putting them in their place. Well, actually, there's a lot of times I did. Let's hear the rest of this.
Well, I don't know, a high percent of my videos where literally, like, for example, like that Jack Doherty video, there's nothing planned beforehand, no talking or anything. I literally contacted his manager. I figured out a way to get him to a call, and then I just recorded it and then left. Like that, there's nothing planned. Same goes with that Belle the Wolf video or the one before that with the e-girl, the spoiled e-girl one, or the or that goth e-girl one, or the Camilla video. Like those are actually.
Yeah, and I think that's what also makes those videos entertaining and good, is that if you're watching them, you can tell that it's not every sentence was like, no, now say this, now say that, now, and then I'll say this. You can tell it's authentic and it's real, the interaction. Now, maybe they said, hey, meet me at 3:00 on this call in this place, and then we're just going to go after each other. But it's still the going after each other part that is authentic and it's real, and you can tell it's real. And that's why the people keep coming back to watch it over and over again. And maybe some people like FlazeFire, they go back because they want to study it and research it and see maybe it's not real. Maybe because I have such intellectual intelligence here, can find out where the Packgod video proves it's not real. Come on.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I don't think you're trying to hide it, but I do think it does help in the mind of the audience to imagine it with like a wrestling type kayfabe where it's just like these are random interactions. I'm gonna go. Like the only ones I pointed out, like especially like the Jack Doherty one especially. That's why I respected it so much is because like you were able to sneak in there and really get him. Like I would
Yeah.
consider that your best video, apart from the last 3 minutes. But other than that, that was your best video. But the ones that I
Other than that, that was your best video, except the last 3 minutes where you did the packing. I didn't like that at all. It sounded very immature and childish, and I want to let you know that my intellectual prowess it's outstanding. It's way up here, and you and your fans, they're below this. They're down in the basement of intellectual ability. I'm up here, though. I'm definitely up here.
I would have reached out to you to ask, but like realistically, you wouldn't have responded to me because I am just a nobody.
I mean, okay, to be fair though, like I will say, if you did reach out to me, I probably would have. I have a very long history of like, if people reach out to me with questions, especially if they're wanting to make a video about me and like ask shit like that. Like this guy today was making a video trying.
Interesting. He says, I would have reached out to you, but you wouldn't answer me because I'm a nobody. And then Packgod goes on to say, like, actually, that's not true. If I knew you were doing this, I might have wanted to reach out to you to sort of help guide you in what you were crafting over there. This could be a lesson for everybody. Like, don't ever just say like, I'm a nobody, because it's not true. None of us are nobodies. We all have something to say. Some perspective or opinion that's important and that the world can benefit from hearing. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. I think the message is there, even if they're, they seem really popular and special, and you might think, I'm not very popular. I don't have a lot of popularity. I'm not important in the world. But when you make that reach, sometimes that person might recognize what you have to offer and come back and surprise you.
Like there's generalizations that you make and almost kind of pitch it as fact when it's just like they're thing you're saying that's just not true. Like you could say like, okay, the Packgod's corny, like this is the fucking shit roast. Like that's all 100% fine because that's just your opinion, right? Like I can never fault someone for having an opinion. Anybody can say my shit corny and ass, fine, that's fine. But there are just some things where like, yes, Packgod just stages every video. They're all fake. Like when it's just not true. And like I literally, and what you don't see behind the scenes is like for every like one video I make, there's like 30 videos that I record that I can't make because someone mutes me, because someone leaves the call, because someone blocks me, because I'm trying to get an actual authentic reaction.
Yeah, which I think is what why wouldn't they just leave the call? And I think that's a fair point. Probably a lot of times people do leave the call, and those aren't the videos that you see. And you often also hear people, why don't you put something out there more than once a month? Well, maybe it's really tricky to find a video that's going to work. It's a lot of time invested in calls with people, and almost think about it as you're sort of like a door-to-door salesman. Most of the times you ring the bell, you're going to get rejected. It's very rare that you actually complete the sale.
That's why I only uploaded like 7 videos this year, because it's that hard for me to actually get that video. If I were to make a whole scripted thing where every single word and every single thing's pre-planned, it would be awful. It would not be entertaining at all. It would be completely obvious that it was scripted. The reason that my videos like are actually entertaining is because it's an actual real interaction. There's actual real emotions. People are really talking and feeling things. And that's just the one thing where it's just like I just wanted to clear the, if you know what I mean, like
Keemstar is also like 50 years old, and he's
dude. Why are they always hating on people that are 50 years old? It's if we're some sort of like ancient class of dinosaurs or something that need constant disrespect.
I don't know if I don't think that any of that matters.
Okay, so it says here you are 5'10" and sex is M. Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
man.
you.
Congratulations.
I'm not 5'1".